Well, let's talk to Danny Ayalon, the former Israeli Deputy Foreign Minister and the country's ambassador to the United States between 2002 and 2006. Your interpretation, first of all, of this delay, what's your sense of why we have this delay?
Well, I think there are two explanations, because we really don't understand. Either Hamas doesn't have at hand what he claimed he had, and the idea was that he would release 50 hostages, of course, mostly women and children, young children and babies. Either that, or they had a second thought. One thing is certain, that they have not allowed yet the ICRC, the International Red Cross, to visit. They did not even have a full list, did not supply even a full list. These are both war crimes that they have committed, but this is a series of war crimes. So we are still here waiting, first of all, to see the list, and secondly, to have them agree to allow Red Cross to see the hostages.
Okay, well, let's say it does go ahead on the new day. I wonder, could this pause, when it happens, be extended? I mean, it's never going to be long enough, is it, to achieve the humanitarian aims that it needs to on either side?
Well, you see, how did it all start? You know, we left Gaza in 2005, 2007. The Hamas took over. Hamas is ISIS. We see that. We see their ideology. We see what they do. And they have since turned Gaza into a one big military bunker of terrorists. And the two war crimes that they have perpetrated is that they are aiming at our own civilian population, and they're hiding behind their own. So this is where the real humanitarian problems all come from. At the end of the day, I think that if Hamas does not just surrender and keep hostages, and they keep not only our babies and elderly as hostages, but also the 2 million people of Gaza. So if they surrender and give up their arms, then the whole problem will be solved quite, I would say, adequate.
After this humanitarian pause, Benjamin Netanyahu has said that this war goes on. Is that inevitable?
I think so. I think that no country would allow ISIS, Hamas, a terror organization, to be on its border, creating a imminent threat on a constant basis. We would like to see a peaceful Palestinian leadership that believes in coexistence. This may take time, but this cannot happen before Hamas is being ousted of the Gaza Strip and actually of existence altogether. And I think the entire international community should just come up against Hamas and eradicate it, just as they did and are still doing with ISIS.
Can I ask you, given the awful violence that we've all seen on both sides over the last week, it's remarkable that we're even here talking about a pause in hostilities. I wonder, can the influencers who delivered this pause, when it happens, perhaps also deliver a peace?
Well, the ones who have the most influence, let's say, on Hamas are the Qatari and the Qatari government. If they are able to do that, so be it.
I'm terribly sorry. I think we may have lost the line there to Danny. Danny, have we still got you back?
Yes, I hear you.
Let me just ask you that question again, whether or not you think the people, the countries, the diplomats who delivered this pause deliver a lasting peace.
Well, the government that has the most influence and leverage over Hamas is the Qatari government. If they can bring about, let's say, the exit, Israel is willing to allow a safe exit of all Hamas leaders, although they are all murderers. But if they are willing to leave Gaza alone and the Qataris can take them, we will allow that. They may bring a peace in the future.
Danny, I just need to tell you about some breaking news that I'm just reading about, so forgive me for bouncing this on you, but we are just understanding that the truce has formally been announced to start, or the pause, I should say, to start at 7 a.m. Israel time for the start of the exchange of hostages. Just a quick reaction before we go.
Well, I think this is news in the right direction. Of course, Israel will abide by it. We very much like to see all our hostages. We're talking about elderly people and toddlers and babies. It's inhuman to just keep them. The fact that we even needed to negotiate for that, I think this is a real stain on the Palestinian people. But we're dealing with a murderous terror organization, so we take what we need. The human suffering is what we need to alleviate in the most urgent way. So yes, 7 o'clock, I guess we will welcome that.
Danny, thank you very much indeed for your time. Danny Ayalon, the former Israeli Deputy Foreign Minister and the country's ambassador to the United States between 2002 and 2006. And let me just reiterate that breaking news. The pause will now, we understand, start at 7 a.m. Israeli time tomorrow morning to begin the exchange of hostages. And we'll have more reaction on this breaking news during the course of the next hour or so.